Welcome back, Bob the Vaping Computer Guy. Today I was taking a look at the Arymi Gille tank, the new coils for it. They're not brand new, but this Arymi Gille tank, and here it is, I gave it not so great a review a few months ago because the coils it came with, these notch coils, I can't stand notch coils. I just don't think they do a good job. These were the coils that it came with, alright? You can see that. And I call them notch coils because there's notches in it. I don't think they're official notch coils. And you can pull your cotton out, and you can easily, put new cotton in them. But they ramp up super fast. I think the taste is terrible. I was vaping at I think 27 watts at the time, and it came out terrible. Those coils, let's see, what were they originally? I think they're 0.2 maybe. Oh yeah, 0.2 ohm coils at 27 watts because they're the notch coils. I didn't like them. Since then, a lot of people have commented saying they now have the new coils for them. These are NiChrome coils, and they're just, I'm going to show you a picture here. Let's pull a picture up. They're just a spring, basically. It's just a big spiral coil. They're 0.5 ohms, and that's the only coils they have for them. But it makes a big difference. It makes this tank usable again, because I like the tank. I didn't like the coils. So I have it in there now, and a single coil like that, by today's standards, when we have Claptons and twisted wire of all kinds that seem to do a better job at taste, this is not the best tasting coil. I much would rather use an RTA of my own and put my own coils in it. But for a $3 coil, this makes this tank acceptable again. It goes from a do not buy, it's terrible because of the coils, to this isn't bad, and it's a simple tank for beginners. It looks decent, it holds juice well, it's easy to fill, replace, and I'm going to take a vape on it. And by the way, 0.5, and I have this at 51 watts right now. Perfectly acceptable. Got some of my own DIY juice in here, my blue raspberry cotton candy that I love, and I know what it tastes like, and I am not getting a lot of taste from it because of this large single coil. So it isn't great tasting. There's better tasting coils and tanks out there, but again, we're just talking that it makes this acceptable, where before this was a do not buy. All right, and a lot of people said they got these new coils out. Have you tried them? So I wanted to let you know about it. Now the way this works is you can unscrew the top. We're not going to do it up close. We're just going to go over this. All right, and then you can even unscrew. Normally with the other coils, you were able to pull the coil out of there because if you notice, they had like these little prongs on the top. I don't know if you can see that. It's like little prongs up there. All right. This one doesn't. As you can see from the picture, it's just a spring. All right. But now if you take the second part off, you can see the coils hanging out of there. Make sure it's not hot. I was just vaping on it. All right. So basically, that's what it looks like. Now this is where you fill. Is this where you fill? No, I guess you got to take the next part off too to fill. But basically, I'm really hoping that's not hot. There's your coil. Okay? So you just take that coil, you can fill it up. You could fill it up right here. And then you just take the coil, drop it in there, make sure it's straight so that it's touching the positive pin on the bottom. Put this on the correct way. Tighten it down. It pushes that coil down. It compresses the spring. And you put your top piece on here. Since I got juice in my hands to make it hard to turn. But that's it. Back to reading what was it, 0.5 something, 0.53 I think. Not amazing taste. Maybe even a little bit below average taste, but it makes this acceptable. If you have one of these and you didn't like it, pick up a couple of these coils for $3. Pick up one of them, try it again. I think you'd re-enjoy this tank again. It's certainly an easy tank for beginners, easy to work on, easy to clean, easy to pop the coil in, and it works well. This is my first, I popped this in, been using it for a couple hours, certainly acceptable again. But looking at it like that now, I could even make my own. You could even make your own coils for it. You can make something else and put it in there, and it'll work. So maybe I'll do that, fool around with my own coils and see what I can make that goes in there. But basically, you pop in a spring in there. So there you go. For those of you who wanted to see what it was like with the new coils, it brings the tank back up from a do not buy to an acceptable level. All right, so that's the Arymi Gille tank with their new spring coils, I'm going to call it. There you go.